Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we'll do a little review of what happened at Dubai Pro. And you guys know that Behrouz Tabani won, as it was pretty obvious, and in that second we actually had William Bonac, and then it was Tonio Burton. In fourth it was Nathan Diasha, in fifth Mofura, and in sixth Neckzilla. Exactly the way I saw it after the pre-judging. I'm still confused why Mofura was in the center. I guess they thought for a moment that he could play second or third, but they definitely changed their mind. Behrouz won, and he looked absolutely crazy, guys. Like, what he brought to this stage was absolutely phenomenal. Great conditioning, great development. He improved his physique since last year, and he just dominated this stage. William Bonac, consistent as usual. He brought a really good package to this stage, but it just, wasn't enough to defeat Behrouz Tabani. Last year, somehow it happened, and it was a worse version of Bonac than this year. But even back then, everybody was kind of confused how William Bonac managed to beat Behrouz Tabani, and I don't think Behrouz improved that much from last year. I think he did improve. I think his legs were fuller and bigger. Overall, he leveled up a little bit, he grew everywhere a little, and he brought really good conditions. So, yeah, he improved, but not as much as William Bonac. I think Bonac this year looks much better than last year, but still, this was a very convincing win for Behrouz Tabani. He's qualified for the Mr. Olympia, obviously. Will he be able to get there? I doubt it, guys. I doubt it, to be honest. Like, with all the stuff that's happening today, I don't know if even Hadi Japan will be able to get to the US. But we'll see about that. Anyways, Behrouz is qualified. He brought an absolutely amazing package to this stage. Look at the conditioning, man. Look at the details everywhere. The back, the glutes, the hamstrings, like from the front especially. Like, this guy is so detailed. So he has this quality of the muscle, this separation everywhere, along with size and symmetry and proportions. Like, one of the best physiques in the world for sure. Can he maybe add more size and more fullness to certain body parts? Maybe, yeah, maybe he could be a little bit bigger and fuller. But I'm curious to see what he would look like next to the best in the world. Even if he's not the biggest, with his shape and lines and conditioning and everything, I think he could do really well in the Mr. Olympia lineup. Like I said, William Bonac was in second. In third, we had Tonio Burton. I felt like these two guys could have switched places. I don't know, man. It was close, but I would probably rather go with Tonio Burton instead of William Bonac for that second. I thought he was simply that good, but they are close, and Tonio pushing this version of William Bonac is still a great achievement. I'm curious what you guys thought about this one, William Bonac or Tonio Burton. Who did you have placing higher? Now, in that fourth, we had Nathan Diasha. In my opinion, deservedly, I saw it this way. It was pretty clear to me. I don't think he could have beaten Tonio or William Bonac or Behrouz Tabani, and I did have him above Mofura and Neckzilla, of course. However, Nathan wasn't exactly happy with this result. This is what he posted. Fourth place, 3 laughing emojis. Leave it as that. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. So, apparently he was surprised with this result. He was saying that he was bringing his best, his all-time best, and that he's going to dominate, that he's going to win. It didn't happen, of course. He did bring a really good package. He brought it for sure. Was it really his best ever? Who the hell knows? This guy competed so many times so far. It's difficult to say, but it was a very good package that he brought. Now, again, I didn't see him placing above those 3 guys. I think fourth place is well deserved. He didn't feel like that. Lee Priest left a comment and he says, "Who you piss off?" LOL, you looked great. And he replies, "Mate, I would love to know. Every time certain judges judge me, I get a worse placing. Be a man and be big enough and say there's an issue." So apparently Nathan feels like he was robbed at this show. That certain judges have a personal issue with him, and whenever they're judging him, he places lower than he would expect to place. Do I see that? Do I think there is any truth to that? I would say no. I think it was a realistic result. I mean, could he placed one spot above? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, he's probably lucky enough that he placed fourth. And based on the first call out, it seemed like he was going to be like in fifth, below Mofuda, but he got above him, and I think fourth at his show was the highest he could have placed. But apparently he doesn't feel that way, and he has the right to feel whichever way he wants. But you guys can tell me what do you think down below. Now, as far as Mofuda, like I said, he was in the center of the first call out at the beginning, so it seemed like he might be placing like top 2, and that's kind of what we all thought at that first moment, and maybe the judges felt the same way, but when he turned around, it was obvious that he won't place that high. And if you go to his IG, you'll see that he is actually disappointed with his result here. So he says, "I want to say sorry to everyone who believed in me. I came in 5th place today. That means 4 guys were better than me, and I accept that. I'll take this as a lesson, and I will work harder and come back better next year. Thank you for all the support always." I mean, I don't see a reason for apologizing. Again, he thought he was going to probably place higher, and then he ended up in all the way down to 5th. But really, like 1 week before this show, nobody even knew that he was competing. He announced that he was competing a couple of days out, and nobody was talking about him, so he showed up out of nowhere. And I mean, that top 5 at Dubai Pro is still a great result. Could have he placed higher? I don't think so. With the look that he brought, no. If he was more conditioned, then maybe he would have placed above Nathan Diashe if his back and his lower body from behind was more conditioned. But the way he looked, I think 5th was exactly where he was supposed to place. And I think it is a great result for somebody like him, somebody who is not exactly a top level competitor. I mean, you have Nathan Diashe here who won like 12, 13 shows in his life. Behrouz Tabani, one of the best bodybuilders in the world. William Bonek, a runner-up at the Mr. Olympia and 2 or 3 times Arnold Classic champion. I mean, Antonio Burton, top 10 and Olympian. So, like, these guys are really high caliber, and, you know, Mofuda is kind of like a new guy. So, top 5 in this show, in my opinion, is a great result. Alright, now, and for the end, we gotta talk about Neckzilla. Now, coming to this show, as you guys know, we kind of had some hopes that he might bring something improved, a much better condition. I mean, weeks before the show, we all thought he might actually pull out, and then like a week out, he posted a couple of shots in which he looked like he was going to bring good condition, and did he bring it? I mean, for Neckzilla, I would say this is okay conditioning. I wouldn't say he came in off. But did he improve the conditioning from last year? No, I think he probably came in a little bit worse. Maybe, like very, very similar. So if he wants to accomplish something big, like winning a pro show, winning a big pro show or something like that, he needs to work on that conditioning a little bit more. Now, he has so much thick and dense muscle that even when he's not exactly super shredded, he's gonna look like he's pretty lean. You look at his physique right here, and like you can't really see that he's holding a lot of fat or water. You just don't see a lot of deep separation. Is that really because he has too much muscle and you can't see depth of the separation because it's just too dense, too thick to be deeply separated? Or is it because he needs to work on lowering the body fat percent even more? I would say it's probably a combination of both. Like I said, when you have so much muscle, you don't have to be super shredded to actually look very lean. Like if you take, for example, let's say Nick Walker, and you compare him to Chris Bumstead, for example. I'm sure Chris Bumstead has a much lower level of body fat percent, but Nick can look just as lean, as dry, because he has more muscle, more tissue pushing the skin. So Neckzilla here, with all his muscle, he looks like he is in good condition, but really, I can see that there is still more work left to be done on this physique as far as lowering the body fat percent and, you know, lowering the water, subcutaneous water and stuff like that. Like, his conditioning could have been better. And it's maybe a little bit more difficult to see it on stage, but if you look at his check-ins before the stage, you will see that there is still some work left to be done. So I hope he's gonna continue competing. I hope this is not the last show he's gonna do this year. I hope he's gonna do like 2 or 3 more shows and continue grinding, continue trying to lower the body fat percent, because if he actually gets really lean, there are definitely shows that he can win. I mean, placing top 6 at this show, it's still a good result. I mean, there was a whole bunch of other guys doing this show who were also pretty good, but the top 5 guys are phenomenal. Like, they're all probably like top 10 Olympians, potentially, most of them. I mean, Behrouz, Bonek, Tonio Burton for sure. I don't know about Nathan or Mofuda, but like they're close. So all those guys in that top 5 are phenomenal, and there are smaller shows, many of them, that Neckzilla can win for sure and go to the Mr. Olympia. But I don't know if his goal is just to get to the Mr. Olympia stage or to actually bring something that's going to be competitive on that stage. I mean, his structure, his shape is something he cannot change, and I don't think there is a point in talking about that. I mean, what can he do about it? Like, he doesn't have the best structure. He doesn't have the best shape, especially like in some poses like the front double, like the back double. You know, his quads are enormous. His calves are huge. His shoulders are a little bit narrow. The shape of his arms, not exactly the best. Waist, you know, he pulls a sort of a vacuum. He can, you know, suck that stomach in and it makes his waist smaller than it is, but it's still not exactly a small waist. So he doesn't have a phenomenal V-taper or an X-frame, but he's trying, you know, he's trying. He did a couple of interesting poses like this victory pose. He's trying to do something new, something interesting, but I don't think this worked for him. I mean, he has like those T-Rex arms, like huge body, and definitely a bit smaller arms, especially like when he lifts them up in the side poses. They look big and the most muscular as well, but in this one they look short and small, so not exactly the best pose for him to hit. I don't know why he did it. And like I said, conditioning needs to be worked on. The quads need to be more shredded, more, you know, drier, detailed, stuff like that. So there's definitely work left to be done. If he nails the look for one of the next shows, he can win a show. He can go to the Mr. Olympia. But if he actually gets the conditioning to be super crazy, maybe he can be even top 10 at the Mr. Olympia. Even with his imperfect structure, with all this muscle and with crazy conditioning, he can do things like Nick Walker is doing. Like, Nick also doesn't have the best structure, but he gets the most out of it with his presentation, with conditioning, and with size. So I'm not saying Neckzilla can be like top 3 or to win the Mr. Olympia like Nick, but he can be top 10 if he nails the look. Anyways, that's gonna do it, guys, for this video about Dubai Pro. You tell me down below, what do you think about the results? Thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon, all the best, and bye bye.